Welcome back to another episode of the Hesse Bros pod. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's your boy B Hess and my brother Luke. Luke, what is going on? We are back for football in the NFL.
Oh, you already know, Brent. It's a beautiful day today. The football season's getting kicked off, and we've got football every Sunday until January's over. So, I don't know how you can't be having a good time right now.
It's like Christmas morning in September, no doubt about it. Let's start off with our Super Bowl predictions, though, because if you watched the first episode, you saw we made our playoff picks. Look, we've got a lot of differing playoff opinions, I think, this year. Only a couple, and pretty much everyone's got consensus ones. So only a few that we've got a few outside, but let's make those Super Bowl predictions now that we've at least narrowed the field down to the 14 that we've picked in the playoffs. Let's start in the AFC. I'll go first. My AFC championship game, Kansas City beats Baltimore in the AFC championship. Lamar, he's going to be close again this year, and I think he's got a good chance to get over the hump. But the Chiefs are going to be fired up, dude. They're not joking around. Kansas City makes it to the AFC Championship game every year under Patrick Mahomes. The worst season they've ever had is losing in overtime of the AFC Championship game. So I'll take my chances that they'll be there and most likely win it.
Yeah, definitely makes sense. You go with that B. And I'm going with the same matchup, but give me the Ravens. I think this is time for Lamar to break through. He's been making steps every year in the playoffs, playing better and better, and he was really a couple plays away from, I think, being there, a couple turnovers away. And so I think this is the year he gets it done, gets in that Super Bowl.
That's a fair point, and I would not be mad. I love Lamar, my second favorite quarterback in the NFL. So if it's Lamar in the Super Bowl, I'll be very happy to root for him in that game. But of course, want to see the Chiefs try to get back to the mountaintop after a tough Super Bowl performance in February. All right, Luke, now to the NFC.
All right, I'm going first up. You already know Detroit Lions are getting in the Super Bowl this year. You can bank that. I feel like this has got to be the year. Got the roster to stay healthy. It's going to be an easy dub, and we're going to be winning against Matthew Stafford and the LA Rams. I think this is the year we get over the hump, and it's going to be quite the Super Bowl matchup.
That would be quite the Super Bowl matchup. Well, my Super Bowl matchup is going to feature two very different teams from you. I'm going with some sleepers in the NFC, but I have both these teams winning their division, and I think that they can make some noise in the postseason. Give me the Washington Commanders and the Minnesota Vikings in the NFC Championship game with Jaden Daniels and Washington making it to the Super Bowl. They got to the NFC Championship game last year. I think they can take it one step further. And I've got the Chiefs and the Commanders with the Kansas City Chiefs winning the Super Bowl.
Now, you must really think Bill is him, huh? They're going to get off a seventh round rookie running back that's going to be getting them to the Super Bowl.
I think Devo Samuels could do it.
All right. Well, I'm going with the Lions over the Ravens. We're going to see this matchup in a couple weeks here, and it's going to be a great Super Bowl preview. The Lions just got what it takes, man. We got all the players everywhere we need them, and we got the grit in our heart. Let's go.
There we go. That's our Super Bowl predictions. Luke's got Lions over Ravens. I've got Chiefs over Commies, and we'll see how it goes in what, about 4 months from now?
Yep,
Five
4 or
months
5
from now?
months. Yep.
But in the meantime, just in a few hours, we've got NFL opening night kickoff, Eagles, Cowboys, one of the fiercest rivalries in all of football. We've got Jerry Jones. We've got Nick Sirianni, who doesn't know about banner night. We've got Jerry Jones, who doesn't like his best players and wants to get rid of them. So there's just a bunch going on tonight. Luke, where should we start?
I feel like you started in the perfect place. Jerry Jones trading away their best player. I feel like if Micah Parsons was there, I was actually leaning towards maybe picking the Cowboys for this game. A little Eagles hangover after the Super Bowl. A lot of times those teams that just won, it's going to be a close game usually. And I thought having that pass rush late in the game against Hurts could really throw him off. But without him, I just don't see the Cowboys being able to get this game done. I think Eagles spread might be the move. I think they beat them by more than 30 points both times last year. Even though they didn't have Dak Prescott, I feel like it's still going to be the Eagles tonight.
Yeah, I expect either a blowout or a shootout. I think the Eagles are going to score, so the only way Dallas sticks around is by scoring a lot themselves. I kind of like the over. I think both teams are going to score a bunch, so any fantasy players you got in this matchup, get them in your lineup. I expect fireworks here. So that's basically what I'm going with. I think the Eagles will win this football game.
I can't wait to see Pickens with the Cowboys too, see how that works out. Having him be the second receiver after he was pissed off all last year being the number one receiver. So
Yeah.
it'll be interesting.
Yeah, we'll see how that works out for sure. It's a lot going on in Dallas, and neither of us have high hopes for the Cowboys this season. So, yeah, give me the Eagles in that one. But it's going to be fun just to have football back. My play this tonight is Devontae Smith and CeeDee Lamb, both 100 yards and a touchdown.
Oh, I like it, Brent. All right, might have to throw that one in too.
Yeah. Well, now let's go on to Friday night because I know that I'll be fired up even more for Friday night's game than tonight's game because it's the Kansas City Chiefs in Brazil, the homeland of some of the best footballers in all the world, Pele and more. But we've got Mahomes now, who is going to be descending upon that Jesus statue in Sao Paulo, and the Brazilian fans fired up for Kansas City football. Chiefs, big division game. Need to establish an early lead in the division with the Chargers and the Broncos both being legitimate contenders this year in the eyes of most people. So Kansas City will come out fired up, focused up. Andy Reid always has this team ready to play well week one. I expect the Chiefs to look pretty explosive offensively for some down the field passing. We've got Pacheco healthy. He wasn't healthy at the end of last season. He's going to be running hard. He hates grass, and he's going to be ready to stomp his way to the end zone. Mahomes is going to be airing it out deep to the X-Man and more.
I like it, Brent. I do think the Chiefs probably get this one done. I do think it's going to be a lower scoring game. That under 46 and a half, I think is definitely the play in this game. Two teams traveling across the world. First game of the season, it's going to be tough to get those offenses on the right page against two really strong defenses in the league, two of the best defenses last year. So I think the under is basically a lock, especially for these division games. They know what these offenses are going to bring, and they're definitely going to be ready to stop it. That's why I also really like Omarion Hampton's under. Brent, I know you're going to like that. The rushing yards for the opposing running back against the Chiefs, 47 and a half in his rookie game, first game of his career. I think that's going to be the bet. After that, he'll have a good season, but this first game is not going to be it.
No, that's one of my favorite staples. At least it was last year, taking the under on Chiefs opposing running backs. So sign me up for that one, Amari on under. Yeah, I see the under hitting too. My prediction is Chiefs 23-17. The Chiefs win another one score game, say 6 points, and that would comfortably hit the under by a touchdown. So I'm lockstep with you there.
Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting to see how
Are
it
you
goes
are you
down.
taking the Chiefs to win or are you taking the Chargers?
I'm taking the Chiefs. Yeah, I think the Chiefs will win this first one off the gate. Like you said, coming off that Super Bowl loss, they're going to be fired up. I don't know if they'll be able to sustain it throughout the season within that division, but I think this first game they can get it done.
All right, let's skip ahead to our late window Sunday, where the Detroit Lions will be playing the Green Bay Packers. Luke, we talked about Micah not being there in Dallas. Well, he's going to be there up in Lambeau Field, and that's something that the Lions are going to have to deal with right away in another big division game from the first week. What do you see happening here?
This is going to be amazing. Everyone's on the Packers for some reason. We got the Lions at plus 124 money line. I mean, you just can't ask for it to be better. You're letting us be underdogs in Lambeau again after we won three straight there, five of our last six against the Packers. This is just beautiful stuff. I can't wait to watch this game, and the Lions are definitely going to get it done. I think it's going to come down to the end of the game and having that pass rush. And everyone's like, oh, Micah Parsons is going to be able to get it done. Well, the Packers lost to the Lions both times last year when we didn't have Aiden Hutchinson, who's going to be the defensive player of the year this year. And he's going to make it known that he's back. He's absolutely going to be fired up to be on that field way more than Parsons is going to be. And he's going to carry the Lions to victory come that fourth quarter. I think the biggest lock of this game for a bet, Jahmyr Gibbs, minus 115 touchdown. They don't have Kenny Clark in the middle anymore. And once Gibbs is able to get past that defensive line front, we see him all the time. Boom, 1-2 to the pylon from anywhere inside 30 yards. He's going to be able to get in the end zone, and that's an absolute lock.
I have to say, I'm pretty much on board with everything you said there. I think the Packers will have a good season, but everyone's overvaluing them a little bit too much now after this Micah Parsons bump. I still think the Lions are the better team. It does worry me. The Lions, how are they going to look first game with new guys on the sidelines, besides Dan the man Campbell, of course? But give me the Lions as underdogs on the road. I think Jahmyr Gibbs is going to have a big game. I like his over rushing and receiving yards, which is under 100 total yards, which is nice. And yeah, if you can get a touchdown too, I think that's probably likely to happen. So Lions win this one in a close game, but we're both right now 3 for 3 on our same picks. Let's see if we get any different ones as we head into Sunday and Monday night. Sunday night, a rematch of the AFC divisional. Bills, Ravens, back in Orchard Park. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. I mean, so many great games this weekend, Luke. What about Sunday night?
This is going to be absolute cinema. I can't wait to watch this game. And I feel like there's not even really a whole lot of analysis to go into it. We've seen these teams play time and time again, and you just got to pick your guy. And I'm going with Lamar Jackson. There's no doubt about it. He's the better quarterback. He's going to show why he should have been MVP last year and why he's going to be MVP this year, taking down Josh Allen week one. It's going to be an exciting game, but he's the better player. They got the better team.
Yeah, for me, it's okay. The playoff game did not go Lamar's way. He made a couple of costly errors, as did some of his teammates, while Josh Allen just played steady football. But if we remember the regular season game, the Ravens absolutely dominated the Bills, and this is a regular season game, although it might feel like a playoff game being week one. All the lights, Sunday night football. But the Ravens dominate in the regular season. They're one of the best regular season games of the last 5, 10 years. And I think they're going to be able to do this one, go into Buffalo, get the win, establish right away that they're one of the top teams in the AFC. Now, I think the Bills will be right there with them, and the Bills don't have much competition in their division, so they'll be fine. But this is a big one for Baltimore to try to erase something from the end of last year.
Yeah, I can't wait. This is definitely the most anticipated game for the whole country, seeing how these two teams will come out. And a lot of people think they're the top two teams in the AFC, Brent. I don't know how you feel about that, but it's
Yeah, a lot of
true.
people think they're the top two teams in football. They're number one and number two in Super Bowl odds.
Yeah.
You're crazy.
First game matchup. It's going to be awesome. And then moving over to Monday Night Football, we got the Vikings heading to Chicago. Two second-year quarterbacks, but JJ McCarthy in his first start. How you feeling about this one, Brent?
This is a big game for me. I was on the Bears last year. This year, I'm on the Vikings in this division. I think it's going to take some time to get Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson up to speed. Meanwhile, Brian Flores is going to have that defense ready to dial up blitzes. We know that Caleb Williams struggled holding onto the ball too long last year, taking a lot of sacks. His offensive line was bad. That should be improved, but it's still the first game with all those guys, new additions on the line in a regular season game. I think that favors the Minnesota Vikings defense. I think they're able to harass Caleb Johnson a lot throughout the game. I think we'll have some nice drives and they'll eventually be able to put up some points in this game. But I think Minnesota gets off to a great start, quiets that crowd down, and is able to win on the road as slight favorites.
This is definitely a huge matchup. Both these teams, if you lose this, because a lot of people think the Lions and the Packers are the two better teams in the division. If you go down here, it's like you're bottom of the division already starting off the year. Both teams need this win, but I'm going with the Bears. I think JJ McCarthy in his first start is just going to be tormented by this Bears secondary that's really solid. And I think that Ben Johnson can draw something up against this Vikings defense. We've seen him absolutely kill the Vikings defense many times with the Lions. He knows how to stop Brian Flores. So this is going to be his time to prove what he can do with some new guys. And I think the Bears are getting it done.
I I see it. That is a possibility for sure. But I'm heavy on the Minnesota Vikings this year. That'll be a big game. I do agree. Big implications. Monday night division game, especially in a stacked division. So hopefully it'll be a contest where both teams are ready to deliver their best and actually show how good that division could be. Well,
Oh
look,
yeah.
those are the primetime games. Let's go back through the Sunday slate. Talk about any upset picks or any games that you have your eye on that are catches your eye for one reason or another.
Oh yeah. I love the Giants against the Commanders starting off week one. You got the Commanders in the Super Bowl. Give me the Giants taking them down in Washington week one. I just don't think the Commanders are going to be able to run the ball at all. They got Eckler, who's super old. Bill, I think, he's solid, but it's his first game. I don't think he's going to be able to do much against this Giants line. And so they're going to be able to keep it close. And Russell Wilson can do enough to win games, especially early in the year with the Steelers last year. They got off to a really hot start. I like to see that happen with the Giants.
I do think Giants at 6.5 is nice. Of course, I'm taking Washington to win this game, but on the spread, don't hate the Giants at all.
Plus 215 money line. I'm taking
That's sneaky. One of my teams that I like this week is the Texans on the road at the Rams. Matt Stafford, he's going to play, but how is he going to look? And what these two teams, both their strengths are, is their pass rush, and both their weaknesses are their offensive lines. I think both teams are able to get after the quarterback, and I'll take the quarterback that's a little bit younger, well, way younger, and a little bit more mobile, and CJ Stroud over Stafford. So I like the under in this matchup. It's one of the lower unders at 43.5, but I think there's good reason for that. It's going to be a sack fest, and I'll take the Texans on the road as underdogs, 3.5 points in this one.
That's definitely be a close matchup, and I'm kind of lean Rams, but I can definitely see it going either way. So many good matchups this week one. I mean, you just got to get fired up for Steelers at Jets, even just a random game, but Rodgers is playing against the Jets.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
both quarterback swaps. It's the Justin Fields Rodgers swap team game.
exactly, yeah, it's unbelievable. We got Raiders versus Patriots too, two new head coaches that are both very experienced with teams that have a lot of upside, could make a playoff push this year. And that one, I'm actually going with the Raiders. I think that Geno Smith is just so much more experienced and that and he's back with Pete Carroll now. I like what I see out of him, and I think Genty gets off to a hot start. The Patriots, I think, are a little bit too overhyped. They still only had what 4 or 5 wins last year, and everyone's picking them to go in the playoffs now. I don't see it happening for them this year, and I think the Raiders put together a lot of talent on that team. Especially people are forgetting their defense with Crosby is definitely going to be a problem for those Patriots.
Yeah, I'm not buying that one. I like New England in that game, especially with Vrabel trying to come in and establish a culture. Drake May is going to take a step this year at home. Give me the Patriots in that one. But an upset I do like that maybe you'll like is on the road, the Carolina Panthers taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Panthers 3.5 point dogs, but Bryce Young coming forward now. I know you've got the Panthers in the playoffs. I think they could surprise and win this game at plus money.
You know I love it, Brent. That's the one I was about to bring up too. I feel like this is the game for everyone to be watching Travis Hunter, right? Everyone wants to see what he's doing out there. And you're just going to see Bryce Young stay steady, get the ball out to his young receivers. And my favorite bet, though, in this game, one of my favorite bets of the week, Chuba Hubbard over 61 rushing yards. I think the Panthers have a good chance of being up for a decent amount of this game, and they're just going to feed him the ball. He's a great running back. People like to forget about him, and that's one of my favorite bets of the week.
Chuba. Okay, that could play for sure. One team I want to talk about that it's always started slow the last couple of years, the Bengals. They're on the road at the Browns. Is it possible that the Browns, who might be the worst team in football, can beat the Bengals week one again, or is this finally the year where the Bengals don't lose their first two games?
Yeah, I don't think it's possible. I think the Bengals they started Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase in all three of their preseason games. They're like, all right, we got to figure something out here, and there's no way they lose to the worst team in football in week one. Ohio matchup, it'll be fun to watch, and they're just going to get out to a hot start. It'll be a high scoring game for sure. I like the Browns offense to be able to do some stuff, but I think the Bengals will just score every chance they get.
Yeah, I agree. I'm finally taking the Bengals here in a week one matchup. But one other upset I do like is the Seahawks at home against the 49ers. 49ers super banged up all across their offense. The Seahawks team's been under the radar, but they've got a strong defense. They're going to lean on the running game, and the crowd will get behind them in Seattle. I'll take the Seahawks at home as underdogs.
I like that. That'll definitely be a close game. I don't think I can go either way on that one, but it'll definitely be interesting to see what Darnold's going to be doing against that 49ers team. And like we said in the division previews, this division's so close. That game is going to have big implications late in the year for sure.
Well, any
And
other?
then I think the Dolphins versus Colts, that'll be an interesting one too. It's I think the Dolphins right now, they're underdogs. It's basically a pick 'em though, but they're just such a September team. This is a game where you have to take the Dolphins. I feel like in a dome too, where Tua can just air it out. The Colts don't have that good of a pass rush to be able to get to him either, and the Dolphins are just going to be looking like the September Super Bowl champions, like they usually do.
Yeah, that is the concern here because Miami does always start strong and they taper off. And the Colts, did you know that have they're the longest stretch of any team currently that hasn't won their week one game. They've lost their week one game, I think like 7 years in a row, which is the longest of any team in football. And could this be the year that's broken it? I am going to take the Colts in this one, but the arguments are very valid that the Dolphins start strong and taper off, and the Colts never play good week one. Maybe it's because they have a different starting quarterback every year for the last 7 years. That could have something to do with it. But I will take the Colts in that one. It is a very much a pick 'em though.
Yep, that'll be my last. That'll be the little corner screen game. See what's going on over there in Indy. Any other
Abs-
matchups, B?
Absolutely. Well, my only corner screen game will be the Broncos Titans because Broncos are my survivor pick this week. They're my one lock of the week. I really like the Titans this year, and I'm on the Broncos. I don't think they're going to win the division or challenge for it like a lot of people do. But just the fact that the Broncos have one of the best defenses in the NFL, maybe the best, at home in altitude against a rookie quarterback making his first start. I just think it has all the makings of the Broncos winning pretty comfortably in that one. Although I do think it's going to get a lot better for Cam Ward. He's kind of starting in about the toughest environment he can on the road against a great defense. He'll end up looking a lot better than he does this week. But yeah, Broncos are one of my safest picks of the week.
That's got to be the safest one. But if somehow the Broncos go down, those survivor leagues are going to be looking a little bleak. I think probably 80% of people are on the Broncos this week. So that'll be interesting for sure. And of course, before we sign off, I gotta give a shout out to the Atlanta Falcons. I feel like this is gonna be another win against the Buccaneers. They beat them twice last year. Michael Penix, first game of the year, and they're at home dogs. They're gonna be ready to go. I like to see what Bijan can do, and I think those weapons are gonna be able to attack that Buccaneers defense.
Yeah, shout out to Q Dog and the Falcons. I'll take the Falcons as well this week, as that'll do it for our week one Hesse Bros pod. Thank you so much for tuning in. I can't wait for next week when we're going to be able to react to our week one games. See if both the Chiefs and the Lions get this big divisional matchup in week one and all the other excitement I'm sure we're going to have. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next week on the Hesse Bros pod. Enjoy the NFL this weekend.